The title of the session is Double Dipping Dashboard Using DARS Data. I'm Nishant Pratap, and I'll be joining with Laurie Harkin. I'm a senior planning analyst, and she is a principal management research analyst. We both work with the enrollment analysis team in the Office of University Provost. Here's the agenda for our session. First, Laurie will give an overview of the DARS data, explain what double dipping means, discuss the need for a dashboard, and describe the population used in the dashboard. Then I'll take over to give an overview of the entire dashboard. Over to you, Laurie.
Thanks, Nishant. Okay, so we've had greater exposure with DARS data now for over 5 years now in some form or another. In the event so you don't know, DARS, also referred to as the Degree Audit Reporting System, refers to the information processed and stored within the DARS system, which is UAchieve, to evaluate a student's progress towards completing their degree requirements. DARS integrates various data types, student data, course data, program information, audit rules, logic, roles to monitor, analyze, and report on a student's academic progress within their degree. So the picture below, it just represents the self-service audit that you can look at and use as a source for validation. It contains everything that you'll see in the data tables. The top part gives you a great summary, so it's really a good source for validation. Okay. The data comes from the table entitled DA ASU DARS IDP, and this is a consolidation of several tables that contain program, requirement, sub-requirement, courses information. It's part of the ASU student degree audit schema, and it shouldn't be confused with any of the tables that are now emanating from the large-scale IDP project. This was actually a table that was created back in 2019 as part of the DARS to Data Warehouse project. Its population is updated for term active, degree, and certificate seeking students. It also retains records for students who have graduated or who have become inactive due to some action like withdrawal, provided those actions occurred after the baseline run date, which was in August of 2019. It's not a term-based table. It's based on run date. And the sub-rec is represented by the unique row of data. So its granularity is on the sub-rec level. Audits are run daily as part of the DW batch for students with a triggerable event. Now that means that the student must have some kind of course change, a plan change, a grade posting or change. If that doesn't occur, there will not be an updated audit in the table. The audits should be available within 2 days of a triggerable event. So the run date of an audit will be the date it hits that table. Okay. The data contains DARS categories. This is the primary metric that we'll be using. There are requirements kind of sprinkled through, but for the most part, we'll be using categories. Now, categories are a structured grouping of requirements. These are things like general studies, major, related area. There's even a college category. They offer clearer, more streamlined view of requirements, and in this case, of the double dipping patterns. In the picture that I have here, and just want to make sure I moved it. In the picture I have here, you can see the categories highlighted in pink and the corresponding requirements highlighted in yellow. Now, the major here has four requirements. Some of our programs have significantly more categories. So the point of the category, what we're trying to show here in the dashboard is that without it, the analysis will probably become cumbersome and perhaps even less meaningful. So in the data, using categories can be a better option. One other point about categories, across tables, category, the field name is sometimes listed differently. In this table, it's rec category. In some of our enriched tables, it's adjusted category, and some of the source tables, it's category. Okay, so double dipping in the context of DARS refers to the practice of allowing a single course to satisfy more than one requirement. It's most often seen with general studies requirements, and while courses count towards multiple requirements, double dipping does not reduce the total number of credits required for graduation. So a student we still have to take an elective or multiple electives. It's really based on how prescriptive the degree is, or even what a student might bring in. Some overachievers will bring in 75 credits, so it may not have an effect. The most common example I think you'll see is a course that meets a general studies requirement and a major requirement. And in the example here, you can see Psych 101, where the student is meeting the general studies and major. They're also meeting the university total hours. Now, requirements like university total hours or upper division 45 are generally not considered double dipping. These represent cumulative credit or hour-based thresholds rather than specific course-based requirements. So why what prompted the double dipping dashboard? There's actually two interconnected use cases, the first being IDP. And IDP is the interactive degree planner tool that is currently being designed to help students craft a personalized degree plan, I should say. The project is ongoing, and it was our belief that the dashboard could really help to inform on pathways that optimize course selection that will include double dipping, which could hopefully help minimize a student's time and financial burden. The second reason is basically the complexity of the DARS data. Again, it's our hope that the double dipping dashboard could help navigate complex data, helping to analyze course sharing across multiple degree requirements and and also pull out those patterns and trends. So an example of a pattern would be perhaps identifying recurring configurations like special courses frequently used for multiple requirements or common combinations of requirements that students double dip. Second, trends. We're hoping to highlight broader shifts over time, such as increases in double dipping across certain programs or disciplines, and also help to see variations in double dipping practices by different students, I should say different student cohorts or different academic years. So to that end, we hope that the dashboard could provide insights that will help streamline academic planning, facilitate advisor support, and more efficiently use our resources. So the population sample is undergraduate students in select academic plans and catalog years 2020 and after who have completed or in progress courses meeting requirement categories of general studies, major, related area, professional, and pre-professional. Also, students are represented in each plan in which they are active. So the academic plans, the six academic plans are included here, and these are actually demo plans that are part of the IDP project. So we expect that the number of plans will expand, will grow, as will the categories, since the categories are directly associated with the specific plans. That's it.
Thank you, Laurie. And as Laurie mentioned earlier, the double dipping dashboard is built to explore common requirements and courses that students take within their academic plan while double dipping. It is broadly categorized into two categories or two pages within the dashboard based on the catalog years of the students before 2024, which is General Studies Maroon, and 2024 or later, which is General Studies Gold. This is because the General Studies requirements vary between these two time periods. Within each catalog year category, three sections are built to help gain insights into common requirements and courses that students take while double dipping. The first section focuses on the most commonly double dip requirements. The second focuses on the most commonly double dip courses. And the final section explores the common courses and double dipping by specific requirement. Now I'll delve into each section, offering a comprehensive analysis of the charts and their implications with some examples. So the first section that explores the common requirements helps to answer the question for a given catalog year and academic plan, what are the most common requirements met by students while double dipping? The chart we see here, as well as some example charts that I'll be showing later, is filtered to the students in catalog years before 2024 and in psychology major. This chart shows the top 100 most commonly double dip requirements. Each circle represents a requirement combination. The color of the circle indicates a general studies core area with a legend on the right. And the number and the size of the circle reflects the number of students who used a course to meet that specific combination. We can see the dark blue colored circles, one of the most common requirements met while double dipping. Those circles represent the upper division humanities, arts, design, and the social behavioral sciences, the general studies core requirement. On the circle, we'll be able to see the biggest circle shows that 1,499 students double-dipped courses to meet the upper division HUSB requirement along with a major requirement. The second section of the dashboard focuses on the courses while double dipping. It helps to answer the question for a given catalog year and academic plan. What are the most common courses used for double dipping by students? And what are the requirements that were met by these courses? This tree map shows the top 5 most commonly double dipped courses. We can see PSY 290 research methods being the most commonly double dip course with 1,171 students double dipping it. The table at the bottom, sorry, it is a bit blurry on the screen. So the table at the bottom shows the requirements met by course selected in the filter. The requirements are classified into 3 groups: general studies core area requirements, general studies awareness, and major or related area requirements. In the example, the PSY 290, which is the most commonly double-dip course, is selected in the filter. Since it is one of a major required course, all 1,171 students who took that course met a major requirements. And 944 students double-dipped the course to also meet the natural science requirement. And 229 students double-dipped it to meet literacy and inquiry and critical inquiry requirement, which comes under the general studies core area. The third and the final section of the dashboard focuses on requirement-specific common courses and double dipping. It helps to answer the question for a given catalog year and academic plan. What are the most common courses used to meet a requirement? Were those courses double dip? If so, what were the requirements that were met? This section is further divided into subsections. For catalog years before 2024, there are 3 subsections: general studies core, general studies awareness, major or related area. And for catalog years 2024 or after, there are 2 subsections: general studies and major or related area. Each of these subsections have requirements that are specific to that subsection, which can be selected in the filter, and all the charts within them shows the data specific to that selected filter. An example of it would be here we see the general studies core subsection under the catalog years before 2024. The humanities, arts, and design, the HU requirement has been selected in the filter, and all the charts and the data within the charts shows the data specific to the HU requirement. The left chart shows the common courses used to meet the HU requirement. The y-axis shows the common courses used by the students to meet the HU requirement, sorted by most common to least common. The x-axis represents the number of students who took that course to meet the specific requirement. The color on the bar indicates the proportion of students who used that course for double dipping. The green indicates that the course was used by the students for double dipping, and gray color indicates that it was not. So in this example, we can see ASB 222, buried cities and lost tribes being the most common course used to meet the HU requirement. And most of the students who took that course to meet the HU requirement have also used it for double dipping, as indicated by the green color on the bar, which is of higher proportion. We can also see some courses that the students took to meet the HU requirement were not used for double dipping, as indicated by the gray colored bar. For example, the second most common course used to meet the HU requirement, which is PHI 101, Introduction to Philosophy. Students who took that course did not use it for double dipping, as indicated by the gray color on the bar. The chart on the right shows the other requirements met by those courses that we saw earlier. The color of the bar indicates the requirements with their legends at the top of the chart. And as an example, we can see for ASB 222, the students who took that course have also used that course to meet a related area requirement indicated by the yellow colored bar, followed by global awareness requirement, the orange colored bar, and historical awareness, the red colored bar. All other subsections under the third section have similar charts and requirements specific to those subsection, and it could be used to filter down those requirements and see the most common courses, whether they were double dipped or not, and if so, what are the other requirements that were met by the courses. That ends the overview of the dashboard. So here we see our potential next steps, as Laurie mentioned earlier. Currently, only the 6 academic plans that were in the beta of IDP are included in the dashboard. A potential next step would be to expand the list of plans to include more academic plans and sub-plans. And also, at the moment, all the students in an academic plan are grouped together. So another potential next step would be to disaggregate the students by campus or their status to see if there are any varying pattern between the groups. If you would like to explore further the dashboard, you could use this QR code. But one note is you may need to request permissions and undergo certain trainings if you can't access the dashboard. And if you have any questions on that, feel free to reach out. This brings us to the end of our session. Thank you everyone for attending our session, and use this QR code to provide your feedbacks on our session. Thank you so much, everyone. And if you have any questions, yeah.
My previous institution on the DARS, within a category, let's say general studies or the equivalent to that, you couldn't double them. So if a course had both like humanities and social science, students could only use it for one of those two and not both. That's the same with AUC.
Yeah. If you guys didn't hear the question, what she asked was if a course can be used to double dip within certain categories or if they can't. So for the general studies maroon requirement, students can double dip the general studies core area to meet the general studies core area and awareness area. But in the general studies gold, students cannot use one course to meet multiple general studies requirements. Go ahead.
Explore program was one of the things. Do you think like the Explore advisors would be okay getting access to this dashboard to look at it? Is that what
Might need to check with my supervisors on that. So yeah, if you, yeah. Mhm. For the dashboard, we are using Tableau. Mhm. Or we use Alteryx to pull the data from the data warehouse and use that data as the source for the Tableau dashboards. Thank you.
So I think this is brand new and was developed part is under the motivation of the interactive degree planner work. And the year of learning includes working with individuals, and I don't know if you were one of those or not.
Probably not. I was
But somebody in your team, we are working with Diana to fund this team. their probably also work. And so that group would be our next kind of targeted audience for conversation. Yeah. And I also, there's nothing in here that isn't Facebook student data.
Yeah,
For sure. So if you want access, you want. Just for now, you know, what.
Oh, I did. Sorry. Right now, we have just focused on the 6 academic plans. And as I mentioned earlier, we might expand the list of plans in the future.
I don't think we'll probably do one of these editions. We'll be looking at just going, you know, across the board. But we'll see, we have to test the availability and make sure it's open form. So if you've got interest in the meantime, if you know that.
When, like, we look at courses that double dip, it's, my understanding is that student doesn't choose a course to double dip, like the DARS just runs it and puts it wherever it can, right? So if there's multiple courses that could double dip the same requirements, it would choose one of them to do that and not the other. Does that make sense?
Yes, it is based on certain logics. So yeah,
But I could imagine that there's one course which by that logic is always chosen first, and so in your dashboard looks like it's double dipped a lot. But there's another course which could have done the same, but isn't chosen by the logic, so in the dashboard, looks like it's way further down the list and it's not as important. Whereas it could be used in the same way. That makes sense.
yeah. So since we use the DARS data as the input, so all the logics are within the DARS data. So we didn't go inside the course and see what are all the applicable requirements that it could meet. Rather, we just took the DARS data, which has already worked on the logics, and it gave us all the requirements that were met by the courses. So we are just relying on the DARS data to go with the double dipping patterns.
I think it might be good for colleges, like, or programs that would look at it to be aware that this is not the only option that a student could double dip, because otherwise it would lead to a very narrow-minded focus of like, oh, these are the courses you need to take. Right? It's not like those are really the only courses that would allow proficient.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Thank you everyone again, and thank you.